Good morning, coming to you live from Perth, Western Australia. Sharon's got a simple upstyle to get your day started. Good morning, Sharon.
Hi Julie, hi everyone out there. We're having a lovely time at a 3-day class. We're on day 3 of our class here in Western Australia. But I thought before we got started today, I would just introduce you to something really quick and simple. This is probably not dissimilar to the cover of our braids number 1, but I thought I would show you this particular technique in a different section of the head. So to start with, I've done a directional blow dry, so you can see directional blow dry all the way through, and I've put a small band just behind the ear on the left side and taken the remaining hair over to the right hand side. Now, not thinking too far ahead, unfortunately I never bought my blonde padding, so we're going to be working with a brown piece of padding shape. Now, these padding shapes are synthetic hair. These shapes are made of synthetic hair, and I've chosen the cone shape today. I want to have a little bit more fullness on this side, a little bit less on that side. So I'm going to work it diagonally across the back of the head, and we're going to come through with some bobby pins. Now, when we do the bobby pins, and we pin padding on the head, with the hairs travelling in this direction, it's very important that my bobby pins will go in that direction to hold it and lock it into the head. And when I do so, I also make sure that I don't open the bobby pins when I put the padding in. So taking a small piece of padding, push it into the scalp and latch underneath those layers for a nice firm grip. So I'll work this up along the head, and then I'll come in underneath the nape line, and we'll do exactly the same. Now, the one thing to note is at this stage I haven't pinned either end of the padding. I'm just pinning along the side area. Now, my angle here is coming this way. My pins are always going to crisscross, so they're going to be sort of pretty much coming vertical at this part of the head through there. That gives a really nice firm shape. A lot of people ask, why do we use padding? And the reason is because when you want to have a little bit of dimension in your work, when you want us to sort of, be able to sit out from the head and have a nice shape, not sit so flat to the head, padding's a perfect solution for that. Now, I've created just a regular 3-strand braid before we got started on this side, and just pulled it out, so I'm going to use that, and the same on this side, we're going to add a 3-strand braid here.
So Sharon, for people who've just tuned in, how come you're using brown padding in your blonde hair?
Because I forgot to bring blonde today. Is that a good reason? Because I would never. So more of a stress for me to make sure that I cover it all up. Yes, we've travelled to Perth, and we've been here for 3 days. And for those people that don't know Sydney to Perth, it's about a 5-hour flight. So it's nearly like New York to LA and back, I think, maybe. So I didn't actually think that I was going to be able to get this in today, and so hence the idea of the brown padding. So regular 3-strand braid, nothing new, nothing different to what we already know. I'm very methodical with my crossovers. I make sure I keep it lovely and firm, and I'm always using my 2 fingers to pinch and hold the hair as I wrap across. So as soon as I wrap across from the left node, I come straight in, really firm at that base, and hold it while I add the extra side in. So I'm always crisscrossing my hands over, but always looking for a firmness and a consistency with the braid all the way through to the end. So we're going to take it reasonably down a little bit further, and I've measured there. So I know that that will cover the braid, so that's the reason for doing that. So having covered the braid, I will add a band to the end. I don't always, but sometimes I do find that pulling out hair with a little bit of layer, it does want to fall apart a little bit. So just putting a little band there to hold some layers together is not a bad suggestion.
Sharon, how did you prepare the hair before you started?
Okay, so I did a directional blow dry at the root area. I used a round brush blow dry technique just to smooth all the ends through. And I have come back with a tong. So I've set these little ponytails with a tong, a large diameter tong, because I find no matter how much I try to just blow dry and braid, I always find the ends of the braid when I pull them out look dishevelled and untidy and unloved. So I find if I put a little curl in there, it's a massive help makes a difference to the pull out. You get that nice curve in it as opposed to straight pieces just sort of popping out randomly here and there. So my recommendation is always to have a little curl on your braid, so when you pull it out it does look more polished and more professional.
So I think that Sandra is saying in Spanish that she admires how clever you are.
Hi Sandra, thank you.
And greetings from Griffith.
Oh my God, who's in Griffith that we know?
Griffith, that's Leonie, and Manchester, and also Ecuador today.
Oh, wow. How amazing.
So what else have you been doing in Perth, Sharon?
Okay, so we've done, we did Intercoiffure, which is a beautiful association, a worldwide association. We're very flattered to be asked to come in last night and present 5 looks for them last night, which was really good. Sunday we did the fundraiser, and I'm a little sorry we were to come back to you on Sunday with a finished result, but unfortunately due to technical issues never quite happened. So we have added the actual video for you up there, but it wasn't live. So let me show you what we're going to do now. I'm just going to do something so simple. I'm just going to cross this over underneath and take this up and around the back of that braid. Holding it up this way, that's how I planned it. So it's going to come up and over to cover the base. So before I go any further, I'm now going to take my bobby pin through, and I'll take a little bit of padding with me. I think it works really nice. A little bit of padding, a little bit of braid, and then in there and tuck those little ends inside. So that's just sort of swinging around and holding it nicely. And I'll bring the other one up over the top and bring that down and wrap that across and under as well. So we try to hide the bands that we've got on the ends and at the same time lock the braid in underneath the work that we're doing.
So Sharon, someone has said, do you need to buy the padding or can you make it yourself?
Well, look, you know, lots of people do make their own padding. To be honest, I don't. The padding is available on our website, and I just think it's really beautiful padding. We've got a whole new supplier at the moment, and the padding is absolutely stunning that we've got. It's lovely and thick and luscious, and it really does the job so beautifully. Some people say, oh, I sort of use pantyhose and crazy things like that, and I can't imagine how you would actually get a bobby pin through pantyhose that's been stuck with a bit of hair that's been cut off someone's head. So, you know, I'm not sure that that's even such a nice thing to do, but I have heard people say that to me, and I do say that my mouth just falls open in a little bit of shock horror, because that's not so nice for a client to have in their hair, somebody else's chopped off hair.
Great, and the padding's really good quality, can be used many times. So
yeah, absolutely. You know, we recycle our padding in our classes all the time. So, you know, we call it pre-loved in our class because it's been around the world and used many, many times. But I have a couple of bins at home, and every single time I need to do something, straight away I'm always just into my bin and pulling out some padding. Eventually it starts to disintegrate. Generally the hair nets eventually break, but you can always just add a hairnet to the shape and recycle it and bring it back into place. So at the end of the day, it tends to work quite nicely.
In the salon situation though, a client will then be encouraged to bring their own padding back and have another hairdo, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You know, a lot of people say, oh, it's expensive for someone to add to their hairstyle, and it's generally a bridal hairstyle or something similar that you'd be doing this for. And my argument about that is, you know, brides spend an absolute mozzo on the spray tan and the false eyelashes and the Botox infills and, you know, the chicken fillets for the boobs and everything else that goes along with it, and the Jimmy Choo shoes, yet they might sort of procrastinate over $20 for a piece of padding, which is quite ludicrous at the end of the day. Because when you think about any hairstyle, one of the things that I think is very sad about the general public is they really want to shortchange the hair and the makeup artist and ask for special deals. Whereas we're the people that have to keep their hair and the makeup and everything looking absolutely fabulous from the minute that they step out on their wedding day till the last minute at night.
Okay, can you catch us up on what you're doing with those big pins, and then I've got something to tell you.
Okay, so the big pins, you can notice I haven't put bobby pins in the hair. All I've done is pin both ends in. The reason for the big pins is so I can spread it out and fix it into the position that I eventually want to pin it into. And I find if I was to put a bobby pin in at this stage, the problem that I would encounter is that I would be pinning it and maybe it isn't quite the right place yet. So it's much better to just keep lifting the hair, moving it around, and pulling it into shape. And then when you're totally satisfied, and only then come back in and pin. So I would then take each pin out one at a time and replace it with a bobby pin.
So you're getting a lot of comments here, Sharon, saying that yeah, they totally agree with you about being undervalued and really managing that kind of area with your bride. Someone has asked though, how would you spread all that hair over the padding if the hair was quite sparse?
I would definitely recommend, if you're looking for a style like this and you want to create this for your bride, I would add a small piece of extension hair on either side to the ponytail. So just thicken up the pony. So if you've got enough hair to catch into two little ponies on either side, even if the hair's even just to, say, the jaw level or something thereabouts, you know, as long as you can pin it and direct it over, then you can always add a small ponytail extension on both sides, and that could be the hair that's doing the work for you. So you don't have to worry too much about length or thickness. Always, it's a very, very simple way of adding the extra hair into the head.
Okay, so here we go. There's a long list of things to tell you here. I've got to tell you aloha from Hawaii.
Oh God.
We would love to visit you in Hawaii.
We need an academy in Hawaii to ask us to go to, because we need a holiday really badly as well.
Okay, Newcastle. I think that's Newcastle in Australia. So greetings from Newcastle and Utah. We're coming to Houston. Somebody's viewing us from Houston right now. So check our website. We're coming in, I think August or September, we're coming to Houston for the boot camp, which is a 4-day intensive foundational class. So that's not quite booked out. I think there's a couple of places left in Houston. So check that out on the website for the details for bookings. Hello from Brisbane. Somebody says me encanta, which I think from our last trip from Madrid means that they love you.
Oh, okay.
Or they like your hairstyle, one or the other. Yeah. Hello from South Dakota. Dunedin in New Zealand. Hello, New Zealand. Panama, wonderful. When are we coming to San Jose in California? Well, we're not this year.
But we're going to LA.
LA in August.
Yes, so we've got LA now. For all the Canadian people watching today, jump online and book. We've got this fantastic 3-day class, and we're in the middle of doing this 3-day class here in Perth, Australia at the moment. It's been a great experience, and I'm sure all the students that are watching this broadcast, I hope you all agree it's been a great class so far. And, you know, jump online and book yourself in, because we have some spots there. We'd love to see you in Canada, in Toronto, and that's very early in August. Also, all our people in Europe, we've got Germany coming up, and that's sort of going to be in October. We have very limited spots. We're going to be working out of the Weller Academy in Dusseldorf, and we only have 20 spots, and they are definitely filling up fast. So if you're keen to come and do this class with us and hang with us for 4 solid days and learn beautiful hairdressing, then I suggest you get onto the website at sharonblain.com and book online. If you have any queries, obviously leave us a message and we'll be in touch with you.
Someone has said it's a wonderful class and great to brush up and remind myself, which is absolutely true. Hello, Sharon from Brisbane, the Northern Territory. There's a bit of a list here. Indiana, Melbourne, New York, New York. There are plenty of people tuning in now from New York. It must be that time of day. So we're coming to New York in September. Check that out on the website.
And we're coming back again for this same 3-day class in October. So we'll be going to New York in August, and we'll be actually it's yes, October.
Yeah.
So early October we'll be coming back again to Rockville Centre to do this 3-day class for you guys there as well. So New York, lots of things are going on there for you. Just jump online and check it all out on our website.
So hello from Boston. We'll see you in New York. Hollywood, Florida. Hollywood in Florida. There you go. We haven't been there, Sharon.
Well, that could be a
That'd
place
be
to
nice.
think about. I always love Hollywood.
Seattle and Arkansas. Arkansas. Hey, someone is watching us from Newfoundland.
Oh no. Do they know our model from Newfoundland?
If you're in Newfoundland, we say, but I think that's Newfoundland. We have our girl in the tapestry collection who's wearing the Queen. Her name's Megan. She's a model that has been in Sydney for a little while now. And she's our model in the tapestry collection. So have a look on Facebook and see if you can find her. So hello, Newfoundland. And Iowa, our friend Dean is in Iowa at the moment. If you haven't seen his Dean's Daddy Hairdos book, you want to check that out on Amazon. Newfoundland. Thank you very much, Sarah. That's how it's pronounced.
Did you spell it that way?
Yeah. Sharon, how long have you been hairdressing?
I'm very proud to say I've been hairdressing for 51 years this year. So it's been a long journey, a great journey, but I'm very proud and very excited to be a hairdresser in this wonderful industry for so many years.
Hello from Atlanta, Georgia.
Hi. Downtown Atlanta, our favourite place.
You are just weave pinning in now, replacing your U-pins?
Yes, exactly. So I've come through and I'm going to demonstrate really quickly that weave pin technique. You can see this doesn't really look that braidy now. I've pulled it out, expanded and moved it around. So it's given it a completely different feel. Julie, if you can get into that and let me just show you this weave technique, because it's absolutely vital when you do this to make sure that you don't see any bobby pins. And there is no bobby pins visually being able to be seen here at the moment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the bobby pin and weave it through ever so slightly along the edge of that curve. I now come straight into the piece of padding and just push and lock it in. That way you're able to disguise it, and if there is any glint of the colour of the bobby pin coming through, you can shift a few of those little soft hairs over the top just to sort of disguise it even further. So I'm just finishing off very, very quickly, just sort of pushing it all in, tucking it all in, and I think it looks pretty good. What's everyone think about that?
Beautiful.
You like it? All my team here like it? That's great.
Woo! We love Sharon.
Thank you. We have 23 students here working with us and we've had a wonderful time. They're a great group. Lovely to be working in Australia with such great Aussies. It's really nice, but I'm so looking forward to getting on the road to meet all you guys around the world in the next couple of months that are coming through.
Hang on, slow down.
Oh, I can see a piece of padding there. Stop. Whoops.
Actually, somebody has made a comment, fresh but simple, which is exactly what the Sharon Blain methods are about. None of our commercial hairstyles have more than 4 to 6 steps, which means they're very, very simple to execute, easy to remember and reproduce. There's nothing worse than when you do a trial and can't remember what to do when they come back for the look.
So let's just move her around.
Hang on, can you put her down?
You want it down?
Thank you. Okay, now gently, thank you.
So you could always add some lovely hair accessories in here. I mean, I feel that this would be absolutely beautiful with some sort of, sort of maybe a beautiful piece, like a, a little sort of decorative piece just through the front there. I think that could look really good. I really just wanted to show you a technique today. It wasn't supposed to be any massive hairstyle. It was showing you how to use some padding, how to incorporate some braids, pull them out and make them wave. Now, this doesn't necessarily need to be on a diagonal. It could be through the centre back, it could be through to the front, it could be anywhere on the head. This technique can transfer anywhere around the head. It's just a technique for you to look at, recognise and think, that's a great idea, that's something I could work with. And hopefully all the little things we teach you when we're doing our Facebook Live are things that you can take back and readily use in your salons today.
So Sharon, Emma has asked which class is this from, and Emma, the Facebook Live looks that we do are not from the classes. The classes are the current collection. These are hairdos or variations on hairdos that you'd find on our app. So could you tell us?
Yes, so the app is LongHairHow2, so it's a number 2. And you'll find it in the Apple Store or it's on Android as well. And you will find this technique in braids number 1. So you download for free. You find braids number 1 in the app, and then you can click on that and you can download it. Now in Australia, I think you pay $2.99. I think in the US with the exchange rates, you probably get it for about half a cent, unfortunately for us. But $2.99 is the max you're going to pay around the world, and then you can actually have it on your phone. So you can refer back to that particular hairstyle all the time. So tell your friends about the app. Everybody that's using it is really excited and they love the app because there's just so much material and so much information on it.
So one last question before we have to go. Hello, Eric is always on when we're on Facebook Live, and he has asked, when you're deciding the design at the front, Sharon, does
Yes.
it depend on the person's profile?
Absolutely.
So could you show us the profile?
Absolutely. Well, I must say, if I was working a little harder, I would have probably bought some more hair in here from a profile perspective. I'm always wanting to make sure that if people have big necks, that I work their hair more closer and more towards the front. I'm very particular about the balance on the forehead. So, you know, if you've got a wide forehead, you've got to look at that. Also, taking hair off the face on someone with a very high forehead, I'm very mindful of that as well. So I do look at face shapes all the time. And we recently did the Australian Bridal Fashion Week last week, and it was really interesting for me to be looking at models. Even though we see a model as being symmetric, you know, equal parts all the way through, it was quite remarkable that a lot of the models weren't symmetrically enhanced, I guess you would say. So a lot of the work had to change. So some of the hairstyles I had allocated for certain people when I saw their face shape didn't quite resonate when we sort of looked at them and we couldn't transfer it onto them. So yes, face shape is very, very important. When I'm looking at where people are going, I'm also very mindful about longevity with hairstyles, where they're getting married, for example. Are they on the beach? What am I going to do? I'm always thinking they've got to look this great the minute I finish their hair till they've left to go to they've left the reception. So as hairdressers, we have a huge responsibility to make our clients and our brides look great. So that's about it for us, Julie, is it?
Well, it is, but there are some people here who want to say hello. So, hi, Eric. I hope that answered your question. So, Sharon, if you say goodbye, I'm just going to introduce Facebook to our class. So, are you guys ready?
Oh.
You'll all have to come in here. And
So thank you, everybody. Hope you enjoyed it. And these are the gorgeous guys from Australia that we're working with at the moment. We're working with our 3-day creative class.